the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, or DSM-5, one may be diagnosed with language disorder if there are difficulties in the attainment and use of language due to comprehension or discourse shortfalls. A language disorder is an impairment in the processing of linguistic information that affects an individual's ability to receive and express language. According to DSM-5, the disorder involves persistent difficulties in the comprehension or production of spoken, written, sign language, or other forms of language. A language disorder is different from a speech disorder, which involves problems with the articulation and fluency of speech sounds. Difficulties may arise in language form, content, or function. An individual with a speech and language disorder may appear detached from others in a family, school, or play environment. He may also lack confidence and assertiveness as a result of difficulties comprehending and expressing information. Language disorders are typically identified in early childhood, when a child fails to display age-appropriate language abilities. The child may fail to follow instructions, ask or answer questions, show appropriate emotions, or interact normally with peers.
I am Miss Matira. I'm here to discuss about classification, types, and criteria for identification of student with speech and language disorder. Number 1, childhood aphasia of speech. A child has trouble making accurate movement when speaking. It occurs because the brain has difficulty coordinating the movements. Ito ay ang isang bata ay nahihirapang gumawa ng maayos or naaayon na paggalaw kapag nagsasalita. Ito ay nangyayari dahil sa ang utak nila ay nahihirapan sa pag-coordinate ng mga paggalaw. Number 2, orofacial myofunction disorder. Individuals with orofacial myofunctional disorder may have trouble eating, talking, breathing through the nose, swallowing, or drinking. Ang may mga orofacial myofunctional disorder naman ay may kinalaman sa kalamnan ng pisngi, panga, tapos sa labi at dila. Kapag ang kalamnan na ito ay hindi gumagana ng tama or nagawi sa mga kondisyon, ito ay hindi typical na pag-unlad na ito ay at ito ang nagiging sanhi ng mga kalamnan na magkaroon ng maling adaptasyon na hindi gumagana sa balanse na maaaring magdulot ng iba't ibang problema tulad sa pagkain, sa pagsasalita, paghinga, sa pamamagitan ng ilong, paglunok, at pag-inom. Number 3, speech sounds disorder or articulation disorder. Ito ay articulation-based or ability to form certain sounds. Instead, certain words and sounds may be distorted, such as making the th sounds in the place of an s sounds. Nawawalan dito ng kakayahan na bumuo ng isang particular na tunog. Sa halip na ang ilang mga salita at tunog ay magkakaiba, dito naman ay nagkakabaliktad. Halimbawa nga, ang salitang ika nagiging S na. Dito ay kinailangan madalas ng pagsasanay sa pagbuo ng mga salita, ng mga may pares na salita upang maipaunawa ng mas maayos ang pagkakaiba ng mga salita at tunog sa isang mag-aaral. Number 4, stuttering and other fluency disorder. Individuals who stutter may feel tenseness in their bodies and may even avoid situation or words that may trigger their stuttering. Secondary physical behavior may include excessive eye blinking or jaw tightening. Ito ay ang mga mag-aaral na nahihirapang bumigkas ng mga salita dahil minsan pinangungunahan sila ng kaba. Ayun na yung tumitrigger sa kanila na ang dahilan ay yung pagkautal. Dahil nga sa pagkautal, minsan pinapahaba pa at pinapaulit-ulit yung mga tunog. Kabilang sa pangalawang episode nito ang pag-uugali nga na halimbawa ay ang pagpikit ng mata o paninikip ng panga nila. Number 5, receptive disorder. Characterized by trouble understanding and processing what others say, cause trouble following direction or limited vocabulary. Ito naman, ang isang may receptive disorder ay nahihirapan siyang umunawan ng mga salita na nilalaman ng isang teksto. Number 6, autism-related speech disorder. Individual with autism may have difficulty understanding and using word, learning to read or write, or having conversation. Ito ay ang individual na may autism na rin nahirapang umunawa at gumamit ng mga salita. Pumasa o sumulat o makipag-usap. Maaaring nahihirapang intindihin dahil nga gumagamit ang mga ito ng robotic voice at kakaunti ang pagsasalita o minsan hindi na lang. So, number 7, resonance disorders occur due to blockage, obstruction of airflow in the nose, mouth, or throat, which may affect the vibration that determine voice quality. Kadalasan nangyayari ito dahil sa pagbabara ng daloy ng hangin sa ilong, bibig, o lalamunan na maaaring makaapekto sa pagtukoy ng mga kalidad ng boses. Ayun nga, yung parang dito manggagaling sa lalamunan yung hininga, tapos biglang mapapaisip ka na lalalim yung hininga mo, yun. Doon sa pamagitan nun ay parang nagbabara yung ating ilong or yung daloy ng hangin natin. Number 8, selective mutism. Most often seen in children and teens, selective mutism is an anxiety disorder characterized by a child's inability to speak and communicate effectively in a select social settings. Kadalasan nakikita sa mga bata at kabataan ng selective mutism. Ito ay isang anxiety disorder na nilalarawan sa kawalan ng kakayahan ng isang bata na magsalita at makipag-usap ng epektibo sa lipunan. Number 9, brain injury-related speech disorder or dysarthria. The muscles in the lips, mouth, tongue, or jaws are too weak to properly form words, usually due to brain damage. Ito naman ay kalamnan sa labi, bibig, dila o panga na masyadong mahina upang iyon makabuo ng mga salita, kadalasan dahil nga sa pinsala ng utak. Number 10, attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder symptoms. Individual to pay attention and control their own behavior, leading to the various problems with communication. Ito yung mga individual na mas binibigang pansin na kontrolin ang kanilang sarili pag-uugali na humahantong sa iba't ibang problema sa komunikasyon. Bagamat hindi lahat naman na may attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder ay may hyperactivity na aspekto ng disorder. Ito ay mayroon din magkaroon ng problema sa pag-upo. Number 11, expressive language disorder. They may be able to understand that other people say but have trouble speaking with the others and or expressing their thoughts, feelings, needs, and idea through language. The disorder can affect spoken, written, and sign language. Ito ay maaaring maunawa nila. Sinasabi ng ibang tao, ngunit nahihirapan silang makipag-usap sa iba at ipahayag ang kanilang naiisip o iniisip, damdamin, pangangailangan, tsaka pagbibigay ng idea. Ang may disorder ay maaaring makaapekto sa pagsasalita, nakasulat, at naka-sign language. Pero yung nakakaranas nito ang mga karaniwang nakakaranas ng mga ito ay mahirapan sa pagpapahayag ng kanilang sarili. 12. Mixed receptive expressive language disorder. Have difficulty understanding what others says as well as being understood by others. Ayun, nahihirapang unawain ang sinasabi ng iba, pati na rin ang pag-unawa ng iba. Kahirapan o kawalan ng kakayahang makipag-usap sa parehong antas ng mga bata sa kanyang edad. Limitadong bokabularyo, kahirapan sa pagbuo ng mga pangungusap, at ayun, hirap din umintindi kapag kinakausap sila ng mga tao. Criteria for identification. The most important part of assessment of speech and language disorder is an importance of integrating information obtained from formal assessment, data gathered from students, spontaneous conversation, and contribution made by teachers and parents. Sa criteria of identification naman, ang may mga speech disorder ay kinakailangan idaan sa assessment o pagtataya para mas malaman kung sino ang natututo at hindi. Kailangan nito ang isang interaction ng bata sa guro, ganun din ang magulang ng bata sa guro.
Incident for balance and assessment progress. Incident of spoken language disorder parents to the number of new cases. Identify in a separate time period variable data on the incident of spoken language disorder in children were located. Paggamit ng wika sa iba't ibang mga modalidad dahil sa mga kakulangan sa pag-unawa at o production. Ang pagsasalita ay importante sa atin, lalo-lalo na sa mga taong kailangan natin bigyan ng pansin, lalo na ang mga bata. Hindi nila kailangan pa nila ng guide or pag-unawa sa mga nasabi. May na-encounter akong ganito. 3 years old, hindi pa siya nakapagsalita. Then lumaki na siya. Ayun, parang nahihirapan siya magsalita, makipag-communicate sa ibang bata kasi hindi niya masabi yung gusto niya sabihin or makihalubilo, lalo na bata pa siya. Madami siyang gustong gawin pa pero hindi niya masabi. Next, for balance of spoken language disorder reference to the number of people who are living with a spoken language disorder in given time period. Ito naman, di agad na agapan yung pagsasalita. Parang dumadami yung may kapansanan na ganito o hindi makaunawa na mga batang gustong makipaghalubilo pero hindi nila magawa kasi hindi sila makapagsalita ng ayos or hindi sila makapagsabi sa mga kalaro nila or magulang nila kung ano yung gusto nila. At lumalala ito kapag hindi sila napapagamot or nate-therapy. Assessment and evaluation of speech language disorder in school. This is Guide of Asia. Documents of reference to consider when conducting comprehensive speech language assessment. Speech language assessment is a complete processing assessment describing and interpreting any individual communication ability required, that integration of a variety of information gathered in the evaluation processing. Speech assessment is a method to evaluation and this diagnose problem in adult and children of speaking, slowing, comprehension and writing. Kailangan din natin mag-follow up ng serbisyo upang subaybayan ang kalagayan ng mga komunikasyon at paglunok at tiyakin ang mga naangkop na intervention at suporta para sa mga individual na may natukoy na pananalita, wika, komunikasyon, nagbibigay malay at o mga sakit sa paglunok. Ito ay sabi nila, pag yung dila daw maliit or hindi doon daw unang makikita yung sakit.
Educational programs. The IEP outlines the students' academic goals for the year as well as any specialized support needed to achieve them. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, teachers of students with special needs are responsible for developing, implementing, and supervising educational programs that will help the students thrive in school. Language intervention. To improve language skills, the therapist could use repetition exercises while modeling appropriate vocabulary and grammar to improve language skills. Articulation therapy. The SLP or speech language pathologist will demonstrate with the child how to make specific sounds, like the R sound, by moving the tongue in different ways. Oral, motor, or feeding and swallowing therapy. The SLP may also offer different food textures and temperatures to help a child become more aware of their mouth while chewing and swallowing. In classroom environment, to encourage independence, always ask the learners whether they need assistance rather than assuming they do. It's crucial to praise and encourage students when they accomplish assignments on their own, especially if they did so through efficient communication. This will promote independence. Learning new words can be challenging for students who have speech or language impairments. The learner should be provided with extra help to help them retain the language. To learn new materials, the learner can use chunking or other vocabulary building strategies, including making flashcards. In laboratory environment, provide comments on completed work, assist the learner with words whose definition are ambiguous and clearly enunciate words. Text comprehension and difficult vocabulary can both benefit from peer tutoring. In a non-formal environment, or a field trip, it is essential that the instructor discusses the student with speech or language problems with them in advance so that they are aware of the student's needs and can prepare the staff members the children will be visiting. Last but not least, opportunities must be provided for the students to speak with adults or other pupils that they might not normally interact with. Jay had been stuttering for well over a year at the age of 4 years 6 months. At first, his parents were told to ignore his stuttering. Jay was brought in for a speech evaluation by his family. About 10% of Jay's speech was stuttering at the time. Mr. Waybright made the decision to begin speech therapy with his young child in order to educate him how to speak more slowly, with stretched vowels and with easy starts. Mr. Waybright would call Jay's stuttering as bumpy speech. They began by practicing the simple voice with single words, progressed to short imitation phrases and sentences, and finally moved on to lengthier sentences, some of which Jay wrote himself. Mr. Waybright also taught Jay how to play bump tag in order to raise his awareness of bumpy speech in a low-key entertaining way. He was instructed to raise his hand if he noticed Mr. Waybright stuttering and got to play with the toy for doing so. Mr. Waybright said the toy's name with a simple start at the beginning of the word and he had to copy it. Jay's family observed a reduction in his stuttering at home. Jay's slurred speech vanished during speech treatment. After terminating his speech therapy, Mr. Waybright tested his speech again after 6 months and again after a year, and Jay's stuttering is now gone.